compete in the real race, prove everything on the track, and continue to pursue the everlasting racing glory as your routine. A single clack of your wheel. The passion is engaged. All you have to do is to commit, to feel the grip in your hand, to perform every precise entry, to deliver the perfect friction circle, and to master the art of driving. You may ask, where's my race crew? And I would say, leave it to Conspit. Ares, the wheelbase that was built to master the competitive sim racing scene. With its powerful skew pole motor and high-precision optical encoder, Ares delivers an unparalleled driving experience with highly detailed force feedback. 290 GP, deemed to become the true next generation. It breaks the planar constraints through a unique 3D ergonomic design and redefines everything about the Formula steering wheel, featuring a full carbon fiber front housing, ensuring a light yet ultra-rigid experience. The MagFlip rocker-type paddles achieve the same functionality as Formula One setups. The CDP system will push your performance to the next level. Focus and execute the agile maneuver, all within just a blink of an eye. With this zealous combination of Ares and 290 GP, the roar of the road thrills both your hands and soul.
Good afternoon once again, as it's the Conspit evening here on World Sim Series. It's the Conspit Formula Junior Series, and the final for them. It's 2 races of 15 minutes for them, but a little bit longer in the qualifying session. So let's say evens out almost in the length of the event. We've got another battle for the championship. It's not as close as what we had in the MX-5s, but it's still close. Pozniakov with a 13-point lead over Yetzi. So Yetzi in another event. This one, he's got a chance at the championship. Then it's Strangus in P3. He's over 100 points down, and Kenobi in 4th. He's another 200 down, so it's really only a battle for 1st in the championship. And the qualifying session right now, Yetzi leads ahead of Pozniakov. Everybody else not even close. So we might have a real showdown for the championship here. Still though, just under 2 minutes to go in this qualifying session. And remember, Yetzi in the MX-5 race, he qualified on a pole, but then lost out in the first corner, actually. It's a different first corner here, but still, he'll be under pressure, and he'll have that race in his mind of what happened before. Heading into the final sector is Strangus, as Yetzi's warming up his tires, getting ready to go. It will be the final attempt for him. Best laps are about 2 minutes. Where is Pozniakov on the track? He's at Maggots and Beckett's, so he'll be able to start one more. So it's really a showdown in this qualifying session. Who does Pozniakov have in front? Somebody who's P8, but he's gonna let him through. Or is he? No, I thought he was letting him through. That was a weird camera angle. But Pozniakov has to think of the gap in front. Yetzi starts his qualifying lap now. It's half a tenth the difference. Pozniakov drops back. He wants to find space in this session. If he can actually catch up at the very, very end of the lap, that might even be better. Yetzi on his lap, though, coming through the first few turns and on to this short run
Yeah, only 400ths of a second
yep.
between the drivers. This is a really tight battle, and both drivers know they...
For Yetzi, it's him. Well, it's a battle against himself now for qualifying. I mean, he wants to improve on his own lap time. For Pozniakov, he needs to find time against Yetzi. So for Yetzi, it's a little bit less pressure. It's more about him improving on himself. He can maybe take a few more risks. And they're pretty much guaranteed a start in the top 3 unless something crazy happens here at the very end of the session. Pozniakov behind 0.15 of a second, so he's down. He'd need to find some magic through the rest of the lap, though still a minute 15 in his lap to go. As here's Yetzi coming through Maggots and Beckett's. He'll come on... Oh, nope, he stops. So Yetzi's not going to improve. That is for sure. Will Pozniakov find some time? Goes through the old turn 1 and past the old pit lane as well here at Silverstone. The race will start at the new pit lane. Well, new. It's been there for, well, no, actually more, I think, for almost 15 years now. We still call it the new pit lane, but not so new anymore, as Pozniakov, no, that's going to be difficult unless he's got something here in this final sector, which he didn't do in previous laps. He's going to be starting down in second. Not that bad. He's not, you know, he's not starting in 15th or 20th. He's starting in second. But still, has to find some time here.
Yep, and he came here into this final race 13 points ahead of Yetzi. Though the points for the final race are doubled, so he still should be looking at finishing in front of Yetzi, at least in one of the races.
I think it's actually well, they get the points from the sum of both races. I think that's how it goes.
Yep, you might be right here.
I mean, the points are not combined between both races, but it's the total from the weekend, let's call it. So both races where you end up in the standing, that's how you get the points. That's how it was previously, I do believe.
So it would be 50 points for first position and 36 points for second. That's 14 points difference. And if Yetzi wins and Pozniakov finishes second, that means Yetzi would get the championship lead by 1 point. As we can
Actually, I'm looking at past events. That wasn't the case. No, it was actually a sum of just the points, so maybe it's that way now. We've had a few different systems that we've used throughout the years, so yeah, I don't really see what the... I don't see any rule about this, so maybe World Sim Series staff can update us on how we're counting the points here today. But it's Pozniakov and Yetzi, front row of the grid, and that is the championship fight. Pozniakov, though, ahead in points. In any case, he has to finish ahead of Yetzi. He needs to find those points to still be ahead of Yetzi. So it's a sum. So it's both races. Well, each race gives their own points. That means it's a more difficult championship calculation. Anyway, lights are coming on. It's race 1 for the Conspit Formula final here from Silverstone. Green on the track. False start for somebody, but that somebody is further down the road. Yetzi leads down into turn 1 this time, but he's got Pozniakov all over his back. A little bit of a touch as Pozniakov, will he try and go to the outside? No, stays on the inside. He has to be wary of cars trying to get past behind him as well. He's got a car behind him still. Ooh, spinner, somebody spins. Who was that? Ooh, more contact. Yikes. Loris, Ramach, somebody else. Okay. So, where's Pozniakov? 4th? 5th? No, fourth.
No, fourth.
Yep, fourth. He's in fourth. It says fifth on the right-hand side. He's actually in fourth. He's got these two cars battling in front of him. He needs to get past them. This is a big, big issue for him. He can't finish. Well, he can finish lower than second, but that would be a disaster in his championship run here. As those two to the inside fight. Tight there, moving back onto the line, but Pozniakov should have the speed now into Maggots and Beckett's. He was so much quicker in qualifying than all of these guys. Well, both of them were, Yetzi and Pozniakov, as Pozniakov back up into a podium spot. He'll want that extra position as well, because he wants to start chasing down well, somebody in the stands there. He wants to start chasing down Yetzi. He's right on the back of Cardinale and shouldn't be a difficult move here because he's quite close. The slipstream works well in these Formula 4 cars. Goes to the inside and, well, we can't get the move done just yet. Almost, well, nobody goes wide. They race cleanly through here. He's going to be on the outside. No, he's going to be on the inside, but completely misses the braking point. And will he drop another spot? He'll be side by side with Szczepanski coming out of the final turn, as now Stranges goes to the inside of him. And he might have to give up that spot. Runs wide, runs on the grass. That's not going to be quicker. And, well, holds on to P4. But had a chance to go back up into second. Had a great chance to go back up into second. Tried a brilliant move. But completely miscalculated where he needs to brake. And outbraked himself by miles. Cardinale 2 seconds back from Yetzi. So Yetzi in a perfect position here in terms of his championship. Pozniakov has some damage on that left-hand side of his Tatuus. As Stranges, did he try and go down the inside? He did, but couldn't get a move done. Pozniakov now on the back of Szczepanski and might get that move done. He goes out side by side and heads past the old pit lane here at Silverstone. Still used for some events as they go side by side down into that corner. And gets past Pozniakov back up into a podium spot. That might give a chance for Stranges to do something here, but it's just that little bit too far away. Pozniakov has to be careful, though. He might have the cars behind getting his slipstream and trying to get past, but actually Szczepanski, well, he's not hit an apex throughout that whole section of corners. It was very impressive to see because he missed every single apex he came through, and that gives a great chance for Stranges to get past. Another surprise there. Really, I mean, if you miss the first one, you're going to start missing all the other ones, and that's exactly what happened to him. He didn't try and get his momentum down and try and make those apexes, and well, Szczepanski might actually hold on to the outside there. He does, and well, stop and go for speeding. But guess for who? For somebody who was completing a drive-through penalty for that false start before. To the outside goes Stranges on Szczepanski. Can't get past again as Szczepanski runs to the grass. Now Balint might try and get a move done. Side by side, he'll be on the inside. Can't get it done.
Looks like everyone is on the very limit of the grip, because as soon as they try to make some moves, they keep on running wide and losing loads of time. It looked like Szczepanski making those mistakes was an easy overtake for Stranges, but actually Stranges now about to lose a position to Balint. Both drivers into that corner, and Balint managed to get in front of Stranges. So, oh, and there's a contact.
No.
Beautifully avoided by Bonardi. A small tangle, that's what's enough for these cars to lose control. They are super lightweight on the racetrack, and those small contacts, they send you spinning. There is no reasonable damage model in Assetto Corsa, so all wheels stay on the cars. If you'd had that more robust damaged model, I think at least one car would have lost a wheel from the chassis. They can now continue, but Strange is down into 9th. He was battling for P4 once. He's now, well, should think about a front row start for the second race. It's gonna be top 10 reversed again in those 15 minutes races. Well, in the second 15 minutes race, both of the races are 15 minutes long. That's Missania trying to overtake Dobrovolsky. What's happening here with the drivers? As soon as they try to make a move, they send themselves off the racetrack. Yetzi putting lap after lap as the fastest lap of them all. Poznakov is currently third, so his mission here is to chase down Cardinale and finish second to minimize the damage that he created at the beginning of this race. I think he panicked a little bit too much. And, well, his move was brilliant, but it didn't stick, and he lost quite a lot of time. Had to regain positions, and he's still chasing Cardinale, but, well, I wonder why they don't have this run on Cardinale. Poznakov had 4 or 5 tenths gap of lead in the qualifying session. Now he's basically on a very similar pace and making mistakes that's gonna send you backwards, not forwards. It looks like Poznakov is stressing a little bit too much and trying to ask of this car a little bit too much on the racetrack, which usually runs you wide at least, and that has cost him 0.6 of a second. The gap is now up to 1.4 seconds, and he'll have to do a work. Oh, someone was off the racetrack, and that's Valiant against Strange again.
Side by side they go, and I think they're both flat through here and wide from Ballant, but from what I remember, the track limits don't really apply much. Strange is down into 8th now.
I think we recently had a race in Silverstone for some sort of series, and we were very interested of how wide the cars.
Same Formula 4 cars. Yep.
And
so same cars, and that was the Formula Series, the World Sim Series F4 Championship, as Strange is still on the back of Ballant. These two guys not letting go of each other. Poznakov, though, catching up to Cardinale. That's an important one for him. He needs to get past. That's 3 points, but 3 very important points.
Yep, and it's not too many laps here remaining on the Silverstone circuit. 6.5 minutes, so we should be 4 laps to go here. Well, there's gonna be occasions for Poznakov, but as soon as he gets closer, he'll have to go for a move, not try to wait it out. But it looks it's not gonna be too easy for Poznakov. He has the run. He has the base advantage, but well, making those mistakes makes him slower. And the base advantage, well, he actually lost. Yeah, sure, lap 1 and lap 2. Now lap 3 and lap 4 was slightly faster. I think lap 5 will be much faster for Poznakov than Cardinale if he'll avoid those mistakes that he is facing here in this first race of the final race. As we get back to the battle between Strange and Ballant. Into the stove corner, a very fast right-hander, a small lift in these cars, and you continue off. You see Strange off the circuit. He tried and asked a little bit too much from his front tires. You lose a little bit of downforce, especially for the front axle when you are close behind your rival. So these fast speed corners, they require a little bit of a longer lift before your car turns. And if you're not waiting to the tires to grip, you risk to run wide. Poznakov so late on the brakes. Maybe that's where he's better than his rivals, and if you are better on the brakes than your rivals are, then you have the best of opportunities to overtake. Only 3 tenths now separate Cardinale and Poznakov. I wonder what Cardinale is having in his mind. He's here not in any battle in the championship. I don't see him in top 30 actually. Yep, looking at the driver standings, Cardinale is not present in top 30, so he's actually here for fun, to prove that he can also battle these championship leaders. But he's currently in the way for Pozniakov, who is leading the championship at this moment until they cross the checkered flag. He needs and wants to be in front of Cardinale, just behind Yetzi, because it's just a tiny bit smaller amount of points separating the drivers. He'll start in front of Yetzi for race 2. Both of the drivers are on very similar pace, but that one place difference that might cause the difference in the championship.
Yep, it's going to be a big difference for that second race, where these drivers do finish here. Obviously, it will likely be Pozniakov who starts higher up, but it's a question of then who where they finish. But obviously, as they move up the field, the gaps between the points get bigger. So staying ahead will be more and more crucial. Actually trying to find Cardinale in the standings, I can't. There's obviously a lot of pages because a lot of drivers have done at least one race, so we'd find him somewhere, but he's definitely not in that top 50 or so. Somewhere, but definitely not high up, so he's definitely running this one just for fun. But 2 laps to go as they crossed the line. It will be the final one the next time they come by that start-finish straight. Gap behind, huge, so it's all about the battle between these two. And Pozniakov wants to get forward, and wants to get forward ASAP.
Well,
as he's getting closer and closer. He's doing well. He's definitely running quicker, and he's definitely running a better line through there. Even though Cardinale will have the exit, I don't think he'll have a good enough exit to negate that time loss into the corner. Definitely didn't, and now Pozniakov has the slipstream as well. He keeps closing in 2/10 that gap for second position, a crucial second position. If he finishes here, then the points gained by Yetzi are only 7. If he finishes in third, the points gained are 10. That's a big difference coming into the next one. Coming out of Maggots Beckett's, actually, Cardinale was faster through there. So obviously the dirty air having some effect, not a huge effect. These cars aren't that aero dependent, but still aero dependent at least a little bit. Coming into the right-hander here and into that final chicane. It will be one more to go as they cross the line. And getting closer, but still not enough. He's running in this very, very difficult position where he's almost close enough to reach, but just that tiny bit too far away. Yetzi starts the final lap. Cardinale starts the final lap. Pozniakov starts the final lap. It's 11 seconds behind. I'm not sure. I don't know. It said timing glitch. About 9 or so behind. And here they come into the village section. And can Pozniakov get a good enough
Cardinale
exit?
running sideways.
Sideways, and this might be the opportunity that Pozniakov needed on the final lap of the race. He's going to use the slipstream. He's going to get closer and closer and closer. He's going to move to the inside, but Cardinale, I'm not sure about that one. That was definitely a move in reaction to what Pozniakov did. I'm sure the stewards will have a look at that one, but I wouldn't be too happy about that one. He definitely reacted to what Pozniakov did. He waited, and when Pozniakov moved, then he moved, and really blocked him there. So not something you should be doing.
Yeah, I stand on you with this one. I'm pretty sure it was reaction to what the other driver does, and that's pure blocking. But that's the steward's decision. Sometimes we have different outcomes from similar situations, so they will have to take a look at it, if they even do that, because stewards are basically looking at contacts between the drivers. So if a driver sends in a report, then the stewards will have a look at it. So if Wozniakov will not be able to pull out that move, he might be sending a report in for the stewards, though he tries to go around the outside, needs to stay close. Ooh, Cardinale not leaving enough space, and actually he didn't leave a car's width on the exit, but Wozniakov still standing strong now. A small touch bit. Oh, that's I don't know.
I'd be very, very surprised if Cardinale doesn't get a penalty here, as Pozniakov finishes third. Yeah, Cardinale, well, he put on a show on this final lap, but I think it went over the line already at the beginning of the lap, and then it went even more over the line through this last section. Strangers will finish 7th, and that pole position for the next race will go to, well, I was going to say it will go to Loris. It won't. It will go to Misani, because Loris spins out in the second to last corner. Misani finishes 10th. He'll be on pole position for the next one. Ramak will line up alongside him. As we've got the race results on your screens, it's Yetzi, Cardinale, Pozniakov, but I'm sure well, actually, Cardinale and Yetzi from the same team. Interesting. Pozniakov in third, 4 for Szczepanski, Bonardi in 5th, 6 for Dobrovolsky, 7 for Strangers, Spielman in 8th, 9 for Ramak, 10 for Misani, Loris in 11th, Zerto in 12th, 13th for Balint, Krasulin in 14th, and 15th for Mulligan. And we'll see who else crosses the line, and where will they finish? Canizaro, Loretta, Patera, Espasef should be 19th, and then Lapo, Chovanets, and Janetsky in 22nd.
Yeah, there are still cars on the racetrack finishing off this first race, so still have to reach that finish line. Yeah, good point. Yetzi and Cardinale from the same team, so that's why Cardinale was so desperate to finish in front of Pozniakov, even though Cardinale is not between the top 30 in the standings, so he is not playing a role here for himself. He came here as a helping hand for his teammate, and that didn't look too tasty on the final lap, definitely, especially the final corners. But what do you have to lose for yourself?
I don't think he's got anything to lose. I think really, I think that just went over the edge there. So for me, that was a little bit too much. We'll see what the stewards think about that, especially considering the situation here. You probably have to look at that as well. Who are these guys racing for? And considering that Cardinale is not in any championship hunt, we'll see what the stewards decide. We'll go with the finishing order for now, but that might have implications for the championship. So right now, the gap is 3 points at the top of the standings. Pozniakov still leads, and he'll be starting in 8th spot for this second race of the Conspit Formula Final Cup. And we get ready to race. I think there's still a break for us here, at least a short one, for everybody to get ready.
The car should be lined out on the grid shortly. I think it's about 30 seconds between we'll see the cars on the grid. Yep, indeed. And then we have 1.5 minutes. Oh, field gets shuffled around, but it's Misani on top of your standings. Ramak is second. The grid is still trying to figure out what position belongs to whom. As we get ourselves and the drivers ready for the final race of this evening, the final race for the Formula 4 Conspit Championship. Yetzi starting 10th. Pozniakov will now start 8th. So actually it was even better for Pozniakov to finish behind Cardinale. If Cardinale gets penalties, Pozniakov will still be handed the second place in the first race, but he has a 1 spot advantage here now for the second race. So maybe it didn't come out too bad for Pozniakov with all the action he had in the first one. Let's keep an eye for how it's gonna go in race 2.
To another 15 minutes around Silverstone, and this is where the championship gets decided. 10 seconds to go until we go green. It was a long championship for these guys. Let's see who comes out on top. And it's green for the final race of the Conspit Formula Championship. Yetzi fighting for that 10th spot and trying to go up places. He's ahead of Cardinale already, as Pozniakov is moving through the field as well. Now he's behind Cardinale as the positions keep switching and switching and switching.
Oh, Pozniakov!
Oh no! Oh, I don't think Pozniakov got collected in that, but Yetzi has some contact, more contact for Yetzi. Pozniakov in 7th spot. This is the best case scenario for him, and he doesn't have Cardinale there as well to help as a rear gunner. As Yetzi running in 10th, Pozniakov side by side with Stranges for position. Zerto trying to get past Yetzi. Yetzi is in the middle of a huge pack of cars. Somebody went running very, very wide. Pozniakov already up into 4th as Yetzi is moving up the field, already up into 7th as well. Wow, they're moving past quickly. 3rd for Pozniakov already as he keeps moving up the spots. Nope, back down to 4th. He was side by side with Dobrovolsky. Dobrovolsky goes even wider. Yetzi up into P5 already, so he's moving up the spots, but I think he does have some damage. Pozniakov now finally up into P3.
Who's that off the racetrack? Someone further behind the top 10.
Yep, not Yetzi and not Pozniakov. That's the crucial thing for the championship. Strange is ahead. Yetzi running in 5th. He might try and make a move on Dobrovolsky here soon, and I'm sure he will. Goes to the inside. That should be a pretty easy move. It is. It gets past even before the corner. Pozniakov now trying to catch up to Stranges. This is, well, they've gone through very, very quickly. Dobrovolsky might try and come back, but I don't think he's got enough. Wow, well, these guys move forward very, very quickly, considering they started in 10th and 8th. They're already up so many spots. Now Pozniakov to the outside. He goes down into turn 1. Can he complete that move round the outside? I don't think Strangers is going to leave him much space, but he does leave him just about enough for his car to fit through. He's going to go to the outside, and can he complete that move? It should be the inside for the next one. It is, and gets it completed, but that brings Yetzi into this one as well. He might try and mount a move here. Strangers might even try and get back at Pozniakov, so Pozniakov should try and defend that position. He doesn't do enough, and this might be Yetzi who might try and go around the outside. Wanted to put Pozniakov in the middle. No, and that's off for both of them. It's a bigger loss for Strangers. Well, I'm not sure what exactly happened there, but I think they just had some unfortunate contact, and for Pozniakov,
I think, it was the biggest mistake for him was not to go defensive. He has seen in the mirrors that Stranges was in the slipstream and was about to make a move. I wonder why Pozniakov decided to stay in the middle of the racetrack, not to go full to the inside, just to hold on that position. And further events went not the best way. Now Pozniakov is down into P6, leaving Yetzi out chasing down Ramak, and I think with the pace advantage that Yetzi has, there's not going to be too difficult. Cardinale back into top 10 places. I wonder, Cardinale was running 3rd or 4th at one time. We then had these big piles of cars touching each other, and Cardinale lost out. He was even out of top 10s. He's now back, but still behind Pozniakov, so he is not going to be a helping hand for Yetzi, but Yetzi doesn't need a helping hand. Now, actually, Cardinale is 8th and Pozniakov is 6th because we have a car in the pits. That's Loretta, and yep, he should be down quite soon. Strange stop and go 10 seconds penalty. Yeah, this was a nightmare final race for Strange. I think Pozniakov just made a move on 2 cars. At least he tried to overtake 2 cars, and yep, this is already out of hand. I think Pozniakov is just, and that's Cardinale, who also clipped Pozniakov slightly while trying to overtake him while Pozniakov was recovering, and that's about it. Yetzi is about to make a move for P1, and this one will actually go to the hands of Yetzi. He made fewer mistakes. I didn't see him doing a lot of contacts. And yeah, I think the decision for Pozniakov to not go defensive was the one that well, cost him this second race and the chance. There goes Yetzi into P1, and well, Rama will have a chance to maybe use that slipstream for an overtake. He needs to stay close in the Maggots and Beckett's corner. That's going to be very difficult in these cars. High-speed corners, you can see how much of a struggle it was for Rama to keep that front tires gripped. Pozniakov will still try something here. He now is in a battle with Balin, but I think even Pozniakov is also at a risk of receiving penalties. Look at how many contacts he is having during this second race. There will definitely be some stewards' decisions coming, and even if he'd managed to finish higher, he is risking to lose that place. For me, it looks like frustration from Pozniakov. He came here as a leading driver, and I think that was a little bit too intensive from the driver for the driver from Ukraine. Yeah, he's now down into P7 again behind Cardinale. Remember, race 1, he was unable to overtake this white-red car, the teammate of Yetzi. And I don't think it's gonna be an easy task for him in race 2, and maybe even the car is slightly damaged from that many contacts that he had. But it's just basically a race till the finish line. I don't think he has a chance to even think about the win in the championship.
No, even if he magically moved up to second, it wouldn't be enough, and whatever the result of race 1 will be, even if he does go up to second, if there is a penalty for Cardinale, that wouldn't change anything once again. He'd need to finish within 6 points of Yetzi, and that's just not happening if Yetzi wins the race. He'd have to be in front. Pozniakov had to be in front pretty much in this race, unless, well, Yetzi didn't win. And Yetzi is clean off into the lead. And for Pozniakov, he's got Cardinale in front of him as well, to make it just that little bit more difficult for him. But Yetzi, well, he wasn't in the fight for the MX5 championship. He was definitely in the fight for this one, and unless he makes some huge mistake, it should be enough for him to win the Conspit Formula Championship, at least this season of it. Dobrovolsky runs third. There was no battle for third or fourth in the championship, so that one's out of the question. As Yetzi, just to rub it in, fastest lap of the race as well. 6.5 minutes to go, so it should be 4 laps when he crossed the line. They were close, well, not so close really, to going a lap under. This race obviously a little bit slower because Yetzi had to come through the field instead of starting all the way up at the front of the field. But yep, still leads, and by a good margin ahead of Ramak. And everybody's more spread out here. Still close between Lapo and Patera, for example, under a second. And still close between Dobrovolsky and Ramak, and Dobrovolsky actually closing in on Ramak for that second spot. It's all about bragging rights here for them. There won't be a championship difference, as Pozniakov is in this section of corners somewhere. Cardinale closes up to Lapo. And actually, they've all kind of closed in on each other. Dobrovolsky is the closest now to second, but really this is a whole train of cars coming through. That was Yetzi coming past your screen. That's how big of a gap he has over everybody already. As Dobrovolsky only 4/10 back from P2, so that's our closest battle at the moment, and he's definitely closing in, and closing in quickly. It's 3 to go at the line. As they all come through, Dobrovolsky still closing in, using that slipstream. He can make a move here soon. Where will he go? He goes to the outside because Ramak goes defensive, but that's going to slow up Ramak's exit, and it's all going to be about this exit, and I think Dobrovolsky will have a very, very good one, but don't think he's actually close enough here. Let's see what happens down this straight, how effective that slipstream will be. Lapo, though, super close to Patera, as Patera defends. Ooh. And Lapo tries to go around the outside, can't get it done. And now he's under pressure from Cardinale, who almost ran into the back of him. You saw that evasive maneuver at the very, very last moment. As now this is a three-way fight, and we'll see if Pozniakov can join this one as well. Battle for fourth, this one. Battle for second has opened up once again. It's 0.8 of a second. We'll see if Dobrovolsky can catch up as Lapo runs wide. Cardinale says, thank you very much. That's a free position for him. And he's got Patera in front of him for another one. And here they are, right in the middle of that complex of corners. It's a much better line from Cardinale there. He'll be trying to make that move. He's right on the back of Patera as he goes to the outside. I think Lapo's actually had the best exit. I think Cardinale got held up just that little bit, but Lapo's not going to have the speed. As Cardinale to the outside, can he hold on? Doesn't go wide, and he'll be on the inside for this chicane. He'll be in front even before the chicane, up into fourth as Patera almost runs into the back of him. Now an opportunity for Lapo, and maybe an opportunity for Pozniakov there as well. Lapo has lost another spot while battling with Patera, with running wide once again. To the inside is Pozniakov. Can he hold on to that inside? He does, as Patera runs wide. Pozniakov up into fifth. And Lapo somehow still behind. He was trying to get up into fourth. He's now down in seventh, trying to get up into sixth as Dobrovolsky ran wide. Cardinale up into P3, and we'll see if Dobrovolsky tries to come back at him. Lapo trying once again on Patera. He's on the inside. Can he finally make that move stick? He does.
Dobrovolsky went for a move, and he found himself sitting in grass. I saw him going late on the brakes. What was that about? Invisible bumpers, and Dobrovolsky tried to rejoin the track, but sent his car into the air. Some invisible bumps. That happens when you try to discover new grounds on the virtual racetracks. And we might see that final lap battle between Cardinale and Pozniakov. It's just not enough time, I believe, for that battle to happen. That wouldn't change nothing Even if Pozniakov would finish in front of Cardinale and somehow magically P2, he would still not be the champion of the series. Yet did what he had to do. He was not interested in what's happening up around him. He was just focused on getting out in front. He's now 7.5 seconds in front of Ramach, who is being chased down by Cardinale and Pozniakov as we will start the final race. Yetzi crossing the line. He just needs to finish it. He doesn't need to worry about nothing what's happening behind him, as he'll get the champion's crown if he sees the checkered flag first. But now we have Cardinale versus Ramach, and Pozniakov not too far behind. I don't think there's something that Pozniakov could pull out of his sleeve to finish off this race second. He was very fast in the qualifying session, but in both races, well, he didn't avoid mistakes. He made some not the smartest decisions on defensive lines or overtaking moments, and I think he's at risk of receiving penalties here in race 2. He had plenty of contacts, and well, there's a high risk for him. Oh, Cardinale running around the outside. This is an interesting move, but it was nicely done. He found the grip on the outside. He braked much later than Ramach, and it looks like it was an easy move, but it was actually not that easy. Ramach was not expecting a car go around him on the outside.
And Pozniakov still sitting behind these two as they go side by side. Pozniakov still has a chance because he's got a great run here, and if he can get a great run out of Maggots and Beckett's, he, well, might just think of going up into second. Almost ran into the back of Ramach as Cardinale trying a different line there. Pozniakov needs to find some speed, but Cardinale's got a great exit out of there. Pozniakov will try and still go up into a podium spot. I don't think they'll get close enough to try and challenge Cardinale for that second spot, and it might actually be a finishing order just like we had in race 1. Side by side. Nope, spoke too soon, as Ramach and Pozniakov have contact, and Lapo moves into a podium spot. Yetzi, though, round the final corner, he wins the race, and he takes home the championship crown as well, ahead of
Cardinale should be second. Yep.
Cardinale should be second. Then comes Lapo, and then comes Patera. Well, cars are finishing, but we don't really know their positions. Ramach, then Pozniakov down in 6th. That doesn't change anything for his championship anyway, but, well, it kind of all fell apart for him in this second race as cars are finishing up, and we'll be able to look at the results. We are almost able to look at the results. We can start at the top of it. Yetzi wins the race ahead of Cardinale, same as in race 1. Then comes Lapo, Patera, Ramach, Pozniakov, Balint, Zerto, Misani, Bernardi, Dobrovolsky in 11th, Mulligan in 12th, 13th for Krasulin, Loris in 14th, and then we have to wait for these couple of cars to finish, because I think Espesev should come. Oh, actually, Espesev's gone back into the pits, so I'll keep reading out the results. It's Szczepanski in 15th, 16th for Strangers, Spielman in 17th, Canizaro in 18th, 19th for Espesev, Chovanets in 20th, and Loretta in 21st position. So those are your results, and congratulations to Yetzi on taking that championship crown as our Conspit evening rounds out. 2 champions crowned and 2 sets of pedals going to them as well. And before we end, keep a lookout on the World Sim Series platforms. Tomorrow, a big announcement for a new championship a returning championship heading World Sim Series way, and you won't want to miss that one, that's for sure. But that's coming tomorrow, so make sure you head on over to the social media platforms for World Sim Series and check it out there. But from us for tonight, it's thank you for watching and good night.
To compete in the real race, prove everything on the track, and continue to pursue the everlasting racing glory as your routine. A single clack of your wheel. The passion is engaged. All you have to do is to commit, to feel the grip in your hand, to perform every precise entry, to deliver the perfect friction circle, and to master the art of driving. You may ask, where's my race crew? And I would say, leave it to Conspit. Ares, the wheelbase that was built to master the competitive sim racing scene. With its powerful skew pole motor and high-precision optical encoder, Ares delivers an unparalleled driving experience with highly detailed force feedback. 290 GP, deemed to become the true next generation. It breaks the planar constraints through a unique 3D ergonomic design and redefines everything about the Formula steering wheel, featuring a full carbon fiber front housing, ensuring a light yet ultra-rigid experience. The MagFlip rocker-type paddles achieve the same functionality as Formula One setups. The CDP system will push your performance to the next level. Focus and execute the agile maneuver, all within just a blink of an eye. With this zealous combination of Ares and 290 GP, the roar of the road thrills both your hands and soul.